What's up, monsters with attitude? This is your boy Godzilla Train 1090, and today, me and my boy Samson West is going to be hosting another episode of The Raw Attitude.
Attitude.
How are you doing tonight, good sir?
Doing well, a little late to the show, even though I was the one that was like the initial scheduler of said show, but I'm excited to be here, and I'm especially excited to talk with our guest. He is a particularly thirsty one.
Just a tidbit. Just
a little bit. But sometimes being thirsty is good. And without further ado, our guest of the evening is...
Hey!
Adam Griffin. What's up, Adam? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic today. Thank you guys for having me. Yes, you guys.
Oh, glad to have you here as well. And we are sporting some merch on behalf of our friend here. Big fan of, you can see it behind him. I got the Jurassic Park part, and Adrian, which way? Adrian, you can't see it, so hiding behind your mic a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the big cyborg scythed hand bad guy.
Yes.
So, I guess first question. Let's go ahead. Where is it? I have to open the video file because we got some questions for you, just some prompts to get you started. And before we even get started, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us just a little bit about you as a content creator. That's not the first question on the list, but that's just a general question to get things started and kicked off as far as who you are and what you're about.
Cool. Yeah. My name is Adam Griffin. I run a YouTube channel called THISTY Thursday Toys. And I do toy reviews and a cocktail with each toy review every Thursday. So Thirsty Thursday. And it's a lot of Godzilla stuff. I do a lot of Jurassic things. Sometimes it's just bizarre figures that I'm like, this could be a fun drink. And I'm learning about mixology kind of as I go. What works and what doesn't. That's
awesome.
Yeah.
So Adam, how long have you been doing Thirsty Thursday Toys now?
This is, hasn't it? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I started like the first Thursday of January 2021. So this is the 4th year, I think. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. This is year 4, and no end in sight yet.
Well, good, because I'm a big fan of your content. I like your stuff. I like your style. And before we go any further and discuss all this stuff, we'll go ahead and kick things off with question number 1. So let me add our questionnaire here. Open.
We can't acknowledge the chat real quick, Sam, since we were late. That would be the nice
okay,
thing.
All right. I guess that's important, kind of. So
of course,
let us indeed.
Oscar Solis, of course, the first one here. Thank you, Oscar. Of course, Larry and Lintham. Larry's an awesome dude. I met Larry at G-Fest as well with Adam, and they're both. Larry's awesome. He's absolutely amazing. And of course, the Monster Report, Nick Adams. What's up, Nick? And then, Thirsty Thursday Toys.
Who the hell is this?
Who's that guy?
Get him out of chat. We don't need him. Everybody, welcome in. Thanks for participating and being here for another episode of Raw Attitude. It's a lot of fun to be able to sit here and talk with like-minded people and just basically shoot the shit and have a good time here. Yeah. Laughing, enjoying, and geeking. But in a nerdy kind of way, not the drug addict kind of way.
Yes. Yeah. Don't do drugs.
Important. But all right, let's kick things off with question number 1. Again, I like to do things in a video style instead of a slideshow style. So everybody listen real closely. Knowing your channel and spooling through, of course, some of the biggest things that you have, you got Godzilla for sure. Jurassic Park, and I see a bunch of sprinklings of Gamera in there. I just tried to pick 3 big franchises, but this question can pretty much go across the board for any of them or all of them. How did you basically get into the franchises that we all know and love, and specifically that you know and love?
Yeah, I mean, for those 3 specifically, they're all just kind of linked. I mean, like with most of us, I think like we grew up as kids, dinosaurs, and that usually leads to Godzilla and Kaiju and such. But like, I guess it started with Peter Pan. I saw that when I was like 1, and that was like the best thing I'd ever seen. I'm like, green, this is it, crocodiles. And from there on, it was green and crocodiles, everything. And, you know, crocodiles led to like more reptiles and dinosaurs and stuff. And for a while, I had this like turtle phase where I just like was super into turtles. And well, my brother was into Ninja Turtles. I was into like actual turtles. So he had all the Ninja Turtle stuff, but Leatherhead, that was my favorite. But yeah, so I was into turtles, and then my mom would go to the library and get like all those like nature documentaries about reptiles and stuff, and I could just sit and watch those for hours. So at one point, she came back with this Japanese monster movie of this big turtle monster fighting this big lizard monster. And because like I'd seen Jurassic Park, and I'm like, yeah, the bigger the monster action, the better kind of thing. So then she brought those back. She's like, this is kind of a perfect mashup of those. And that was Gamera versus Baragon. And I'm like, yes, more of this, please. So then she went back and like, what else do you have that's like this? And she ended up coming back with Godzilla versus Biollante. So that was my first. So it was like a boom, 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 Jurassic Park, Gamera, Godzilla, and it was that was it. That was game over. I'm like, this is my life now. This is it.
So out of the three, Jurassic Park was your entry into all the nerdisms that you got going on behind you before the kaiju stuff.
Yeah, because that came out when I was 5, but my parents were like, he's too young to see a PG-13 movie. But then like it came back for a second run when I was 6. And I was like, I've been begging my parents, you know, to take me to see it. So they're like, they finally caved the next year, and they're like, okay. And they got a lot of flack from family. They'd be like, you shouldn't take a 6-year-old to see this. I loved it. So family, if you're watching, I turned out just fine. Well, I mean,
look at him, he's good, y'all. Well, that's awesome. I was introduced to Jurassic Park when I was 2. Because it came out on my birthday in 1993. I was a 91 baby. So my parents brought me to see it weekend of at the age of 2. I don't have a vivid memory of it. I'm sure I had a good time. That or I bawled and pissed off everyone in the movie theater. I don't remember which one. It really depends.
No nightmares of like raptors coming through your window.
Just the occasional wet dream, but not wet dream, but the the one where you do the other thing, not the gross one. Nightmare urination. That's what it's called.
There it is. Yep.
There it is.
Well, Adrian, how about yourself, man? We all know we're big into Jurassic Park here for sure. At least I hope most of us are. Adrian, I don't want to speak for you.
I mean, Jurassic Park is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I swear to God, I cannot remember when I saw Jurassic Park. I don't remember whatsoever. That is not a core memory for me for some odd reason. I just know I've loved it ever since I've seen it. It's an incredible movie for sure.
Well, it was nice having Adrian in here, but I guess we're going to boot him from the stream for the remainder of the show.
Well, it's like you see something that's so good, and you're like, this. It's like it's always been a part of your life. It was like there was a pre-Jurassic Park, and then like now here we are in the good part.
Exactly, because like, oh God, I can't remember. Just like how Godzilla vs. Megalon is iffy for my first Godzilla movie. Trying to remember when I saw Jurassic Park the first time, I don't remember at all. But I just know I absolutely loved it. Cause I've loved dinosaurs since I was probably 3 years old. Of course, growing up in the 90s, I was a Barney kid, and then from Barney I went to Godzilla, and yeah, the rest is history.
We all had that
pretty sure that's a
Christmas special or something.
I'm pretty sure that was a core memory for most of us. Growing up in the 90s, we have like a similar shared like a shared experience that we all went through. Jurassic Park, dinosaurs, Barney, Godzilla, just it's all a shared like hive mind of dinosaurs.
I mean, that was
awesome. So to reiterate, Jurassic Park is how you got started, and then it was Gamera versus
Baragon.
Ooh, what's first film? That's a great. Because Samson hasn't seen any Gamma besides Giron, so I know.
Okay, Samson's gonna go take a break, watch some more Gamera, come back.
See you guys in 7 hours, however long it takes to watch all of them in a row.
Yes.
And then you said that Biollante was actually your first out of the Godzilla franchise.
Yes. That was
and as I
number
remember,
one.
your favorite Godzilla suit also.
And like, I wonder, like, do I like it as much as I do because that was the first Godzilla movie, or was that just always going to be my favorite? And I can't go back and watch something else for the first time, kind of thing. So
it's really hard to say because what's funny, Mechagodzilla was my first introduction, but Gigan is my favorite film. The 72 suits, favorite suit, and just Gigan is my favorite villain. It is weird how that works. I mean, I have a lot of love for Mechagodzilla, but there's something special about Gigan.
Yes.
See, and I can say the same because I mean, for me, Godzilla vs. Megalon is pretty low on the totem pole, to be honest. Of course, y'all know my favorite film. Y'all know me. I love evil, serious Godzilla. I can't help it. Ever since I saw the original 54 when I was 9 or 10, I've always been a sucker for evil Godzilla. I can't help it. But no, it's awesome whenever you're able to see a film for the first time and it just sticks with you as your favorite film. Not because necessarily, oh, this is my first film, so it has to be my favorite. No, you just love the film that much. Well, it evolved into your favorite film as the older you've gotten.
It's like the first time tasting a new flavor. It has that much of an impact.
Oh, like the first time you tried bacon. What an experience. Unless you're vegetarian. So, okay, the big three that I put on the page, but obviously you have a lot more on your channel than just Godzilla, Jurassic Park, and Gamera. You have so much more because you have just a love for all things monsters, science fiction. You have it all. Is there another big franchise that you say that you can hold dear and true to your heart that stands out from these three that I initially put on the questionnaire for you?
Ooh, I mean, like, I love Peter Pan. I've done one Peter Pan. I mean, it's not really a franchise, Peter Pan, but I love Peter Pan so much. I have a huge like TikTok crocodile collection. So I did a video for like some of them. But I mean, I've got that. I've got Star Wars. I've done some Pacific Rim stuff. Just so much, just things I like. I'm just stuck up. Muppets.
I mean, from what I've seen on your channel, yes, to name a few more, Pokemon, Transformers, Power Rangers, all things, a lot of things, Steven Spielberg, just general monster movies, The Fly, Gremlins. I'm trying to think of many more that I've scrolled through on your channel, but you just have it all. And you have such a huge variety that's what I think makes your channel so great and fun, because you got a little bit of something for everyone. That's
why I have such a generic name, because I was thinking of calling it Kaiju Cocktails, which I think sounds so much better. But
it rolls off the tongue pretty well,
right? Thirsty Thursday Toys, but I realized like it's th and then a t, so that like doesn't even work alliteratively. But it's super generic, so that it could be anything, toys and booze, wherever it goes. When my liver gives out and I can't do it anymore, then whoever takes over afterwards can do superhero stuff, and it just fits right in Thirsty Thursday Toys.
Exactly, because we've had you on streams before, Adam, and then you have a massive collection. When I say this man's the king of trinkets, Jesus Christ. So I guess
you do.
Question for you is, what really got you in like getting a whole lot of trinkets in your collection? Like, what started you down that path exactly?
Like Godzilla wise, or just collecting and hoarding in general?
Yeah, just in general.
My mom has said she's blamed herself for that. Because when right after I was born, like as I was growing up, because my parents moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, and she's like, we spent so many hours I pushed you around in a stroller through the mall and just taking you to different stores and stuff because it was raining and like there was nothing to do outside. So she's like, you grew up in a mall, so of course you just want to buy things all the time. but I mean, yeah, we'd go to a lot of garage sales and things, and you could get so much for so little there, and I would just amass things. And I mean, like at that time, you know, as I was growing up that age, you know, 5, 6, 7, we had Jurassic Park coming out. We had the Trendmasters Godzilla figures. Then we got the '98 Godzilla. So I was growing up like right at that time where there were all these things that were like readily available right there at Toys R Us, at KB Toys, at places that no longer exist. But like they were right there, so it was super easy.
It's funny that we grew up in such a similar time as each other. We can all kind of relate to that it was just a shared, again, another shared experience, having stuff like KB Toys and all that kind of stuff in the mall and Toys R Us and all these different pretty much extinct places to get. And there's a lot of trinkets. And if your parents weren't absolutely the most filthiest of stinking rich, that's what you could afford. And they were like, hey, here's a little 5-piece Digimon pack. Have fun, kiddo. And then I lost the arm in the yard and pitched an OCD tantrum. And but we do have a question from the audience, our Monsterverse maniac himself. He's curious what the blue figure over your right shoulder is.
This is Yamaton. But was this? Who made this? I forgot who made it. It's Yamanaya. So Yamaton, this is from an Ultraman manga. So it never appeared on screen. So I'm not sure what color it actually was. But it's like the Battleship Yamato, but also a kaiju. I love weird mashup stuff. So this was just gorgeous and bizarre. And I've been working on a drink for it for a while.
Yeah, when it comes to your strange kaiju, I remember one that you were like digging for a long time, and I forget which chat it was. It was a penguin kaiju that you were so excited about, and I forgot what the details behind why it was so unique and special to you, and you wanted it so badly.
So that was Dream Rocket's Razor Pegamon. And I discovered it when I was in like middle school or high school or something. I, saw a picture online. I'm like, I need to find it. That was my holy grail for almost 20 years or something. I finally got it last year. And it's like a mashup of like the Mysterians, Mogira, and Gigan, and a penguin. And I have one around here somewhere. I bought it in so many colors. I have a problem.
That's why it stuck out for me, I believe, is because it had some Gigan mixed into it, which I was like, ooh, what a unique piece.
Here's one I still have in the bag. But yeah, so it's got like the Gigan-y kind of little mandibles. It's got the claws. It's got the 3 wings. It's got the buzzsaw on the chest.
That's interesting.
And it's a penguin.
But then like the Mogira frill, kind of like almost like the Seinfeld puffy shirt just in the front right there.
Yeah,
absolutely. I don't know why. Like I love penguins and I love Gigan, and that having the two get mashed up.
Oh, I gotta ask you, because have you seen that clip and or the documentary where Benedict Cumberbatch cannot pronounce penguins?
Oh, penguins.
Penguins.
Yep.
Penguins.
Penguins.
When he was on the Graham Norton show and he was like, all right, so I don't remember how many people asked you this, but apparently you have you struggle with the word penguin. And he was like, I don't know if you want to hear that. And he's like, oh, good Lord. And they bring up the clip and it's just
penguin. Yes. I've seen that.
It was just like, to this day, that will haunt me forever. And that's a lot of fun.
That was pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, first question was basically general about your fandom, the different fandoms that you enjoy, like how you got into it. Adrian, do you have any more to tie into that before we go on to the next one?
Yeah, want to go on question number 2?
Okay, question number next.
You're a goddamn genius.
So, drink recipes and figure reviews. where did you get this amazing idea from? How did that conjure into your content creating? Because nobody else does. I mean, there are similar channels and similar stuff like that, but yours is so unique in your fashion with the kaiju, the monsters, the robot, just everything that you do. How did the two combine into one great idea?
Well, thank you. Years ago, one of my friends, she said, "You have so many toys, you know so much about toys, you should do toy reviews on YouTube. They're huge, they're blowing up, you could make a ton of money or something." And I said, I do have a lot of stuff, I do know a lot of stuff about stuff, I could talk about toys for hours, but I don't know like what else I could bring to the table. Not that I needed to, but like that's the kind of, you know, any school project or something, I want it to be like unique. I want it to have my own thing that's not the same as someone else, but, you know, different color kind of thing. So I put it off for a while because I'm like, I don't know, not that it has to be a competition, but I'm like, there are so many out there, there's nothing else I could really bring to the table. Until someone gave me some advice. They're like, well, think about your audience. Who do you want your audience to be, kind of thing. And so I was thinking like, okay, well, adult collectors, the original idea was going to be me just like getting drunk and talking about toys. It's kind of like a drunk history of figures and stuff.
Oh,
but I'm like, I don't know how much entertainment value there is in that. And then I was afraid of like, okay, take a couple shots and see if I can transform Optimus Prime before they kick in. But I'm like, I will end up with so many broken toys. So then I'm like,
yeah,
well, yeah, right. But I used to make just bizarre drinks in college. They weren't necessarily good, but they were unique. And sometimes we'd like come up with like, okay, let's take a cast of a TV show and see if we can come up with like a drink for each character. So a lot of like theoretical stuff. So I had some recipes, and I'm like, I could do that with Godzilla characters. And then I started doing that, and 3 some odd years later, here we are. I thought I was going to run out of ideas like in the first year, but I have more ideas than there are Thursdays in a year. I've got things for everything here. I'm surrounded by stuff. But yeah, I forgot what the question was.
it was basically just how did, because as Forrest Gump's drill sergeant said, you're a goddamn genius. And I think it's such a unique and great idea because it's, as an adult that enjoys berry juice, I like to see these two combined into each other with the cocktail recipes / how they can relate to said figure in the review. Because I like doing thematic kind of stuff. That's something that kind of vibes with me a lot too. So I think it's really unique to see the drink concoctions, mixtures, and like colorways and just different ideas to coincide with whatever toy and or collectible you are doing on your channel. And that's why your channel is one of my favorites, because also you do what many out there should. You keep your stuff precise. Yes. Very, very precise and short.
Yeah, I like sometimes I'll be in a store and I'll see a Transformer that I'm like, oh, I didn't know this is out already. Should I get it? Should I not? And I'll like look up a review and it's like 27 minutes. I'm like, doesn't take 27 minutes to talk about it. So I'm like trying to, I just want to know, is the head on a ball joint? So I'm like scrolling through on my phone as it's like loading in the middle of Target, and I'm just want to find that one piece of information. So I'm thinking about that. If I'm in the store looking at this figure or something, can I quickly find the information? So not that there's anything wrong with, 20, 30-minute reviews, but that's not what I'm looking for when I'm looking at reviews.
No, there isn't anything wrong with that, because a lot of people. No, go ahead, Adrian, because I'm totally stealing the show and not letting you talk too much.
So basically, I was going to say I definitely understand that thought process, because I mean, like I said, when you're in the store trying to decide if you want to get anything, it's like, okay, I love watching. Like, I know, like for example, I know I've been trying to keep my reviews kind of shorter too, because I know, again, like especially like for example, the higher burning Godzilla. If you're going to be in the store and you see this out there, are you going to watch a 45-minute review to see if you're going to buy it or not? No, you're going to watch something that's going to be 5 or 10 minutes. which granted, I know I like my videos on a little bit longer side to get a little bit more details and depth into them, but there's definitely place in the community for us to have a little bit of shorter shows to tell us about a figure review and things of that nature. And again, like I mentioned earlier, Adam, we have so many things out there. It's gonna be kind of hard for anyone to go to your channel and not find what they're looking for.
Right. There's
because
something.
of the huge variety you have of figures that you do review and everything.
And again, we're not bashing anybody out there because
right.
a lot of folks out there love to do, like, they put the reviews on in the background while they're doing activities or what have you. Like the longer form videos can work in that sense. But I agree with the short form that you did, so that you can like, oh, let me just spool through here and let me see if I can find. I just want to see the comparison to it versus other monsters similar to it, whether it be band. Like if you're reviewing an SH Monster Arts of some kind, let's see how it looks next to a NECA figure or a Bandai, or let's see what other 6-inch figures Adam's going to compare with this certain one, or just depending on what you got. And I think that's really cool that you edit down and your voiceovers are fun and great. So it's very entertaining, and you have so much stuff on your channel I still haven't watched yet. And I was scrolling through the thumbnails just to look at the multitudes of things to find like, because as you saw at the background of the video, I found something that kind of was unique, which was the what do you call it? The Tiger Raptor, and then your Tiger Raptor drink in the background, which I thought was, I like the little, when you did the little stripes on the orange peels.
Yeah. I've done so many things I forgot that I've done. I was scrolling back. I'm like, oh my God, I don't remember doing that one or this one.
I wonder if there was booze involved.
Well, so part of that is like, I have, I take a lot of like notes on my phone and stuff when I'm like testing out recipes. And I'll like look things up to try and find a note. And I find a note that's extremely similar. And I realize like, wait a minute, I've made this drink before. Like, oh man. Because I mean, if we're talking 52 weeks in a year, 52 Thursdays, I've done over 150 recipes, at least.
Right. The 3.5 year,
I can't remember them all.
No, I haven't even gone back to your YouTube page in a while to see what you have racked up in terms of videos on your channel. I mean, I can easily do that. Adrian, you keep asking questions. I'm going to be distracting off to the side.
Actually, I'm already on his YouTube channel. Right now it's at 200.
Oh, you're there. Okay. Cool. I was just talking over you. What was that again?
217 recipes. Which I mean,
did you say 117? I was speaking over you.
217.
217.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats. That is a lot of different drinks for you guys out there. A little something for everybody. Come on.
There's something.
Yeah, and I appreciate your patience with this, Adam, because when we met at G-Fest last year, I was actually in your trial and error session. We was making the Jet Jaguar drink and Megalon drink, I believe was the other one.
Yes, I did the Jet Jaguar Punch last year.
Right?
It was.
So it's like, so it's Jet Jaguar punch.
Is it? Yeah, punch. I'm like, it was a
punch. We have a question, or actually, no, it's a comment / compliment, which was the love for the GXK crystal help, where you identify the easiest way to get all of the different ones from this new film in your short review that you did. That is.
I'm glad so many people. I think that has the most comments of any video I've done. People just saying thank you so much for this. I found the the one I was missing kind of thing. But what's bizarre, I guess not bizarre about that one, I spend so much time coming up with each drink, buying ingredients, testing things out. But that one, I came home and I'm like, I might as well do a video because I have this information. I sat down, I filmed the thing, I edited it, uploaded it, maybe half an hour tops. And that's become my third most viewed video of the entire channel. So
wow,
it sure is.
Things I've spent, months on crafting recipes and stuff get just a fraction of what where I just sat down and just said stuff. So, like, why am I putting so much time and effort into this other stuff? But
as a wise man once said, no respect.
Oh.
Well,
But yes,
again,
I'm glad that's helping people.
as I said, I got a lot of love for your channel. I think it's so unique. And as a gentleman that enjoys his adult beverages / his adult toys, it's a different kind of twist on the toy review concept, and it's something that I think a lot of folks can enjoy. Mostly adult, because as it says, 21 and older.
21 and up. Drink responsibly.
Always.
Well, again, Adrian, do you have anything to feed off of that question about the uniqueness of his channel, the idea, and otherwise? Because
go ahead.
I think the next question is it's very similar to this one, but it's more general. So let's move on.
Son of a bitch! Give me a drink!
Now, let's get into the history. Speaking of the booze aspect and the cocktail mixing aspect of your channel, tell us about that. Tell us about your drink making mixology history and where that started and how it got to where it is today.
Okay, so when I was in college, it started with I said I was never going to drink. I'm not going to put anything in my body that alters my perception and stuff. And that, obviously did not continue. But I didn't really like the way alcohol tasted. It tasted like hand sanitizer. And I'm like, I'll stick with sodas and juices and stuff. But then I started playing around with really weird flavors like cinnamon schnapps and stuff. A lot of schnapps and liqueurs and very low proof alcohol things that are basically just syrup. And I found I really like a lot of those kind of flavors. So I just started playing around with the stuff that I liked. And one thing that really kicked off the mixology aspect, it was one night I found out that the girl I was dating at the time, she cheated on me. We broke up. Friend came over. He's like, "Hey, we're going to drink." And I'm like, "Yes, let's do that." But all I had booze wise was Goldschlager. I don't know if you guys have had that. It's a cinnamon schnapps with little flecks of gold floating in it. I love novelty stuff. Mm-hmm. So we had that and we're like, how can we make this palatable? So we ended up mixing a little bit of that, some orange juice, and then tiki punch, the carbonated Hawaiian punch from the Dollar Tree. But it was high pulp orange juice. So it was really thick. But the way it all swirled around, it looked kind of like lava. So we called the drink the Orange Volcano. So that was the first time really mixing a bunch of stuff. And we have a name for a drink now. I'm like, this was really fun. This was worth the relationship to have this time just mixing. So
I'd say you came out with something pretty positive out of a negative situation.
Right. And it's been really fun since then, painting with booze, figuring out, okay, how can I make this color out of these things, but also try to make it taste good or at least decent kind of stuff. And how do I get layers? And then I've been learning more about the science behind some of the stuff, playing around with density, playing around, okay, what happens when you mix these ingredients together? And that's just been really fun from an art aspect, a science aspect, more so than just getting drunk kind of thing. So that's just been really fun. I do have, I did get my mixology permit, so I could serve at a bar, but I'm way too terrified to become a bartender. Yeah, I've heard tales.
Yeah, I have too. And like I said, this watching you in your element at G-Fest, that was very interesting because I've always been interested in bartending, but like you said, it's terrifying to think about it.
I just want to be in the back. Tell me what to drink. I'll make it and set it up.
Just put me behind the bulletproof glass and I'll serve the drinks through a little drawer. I put it in and push it to the other side and you slip me the tips through the little tiny keyhole. And just, that's all the exposure to the audience that I truly need with this.
Having to memorize the 7 different types of state IDs and what to look for. And I'm I'm so afraid of messing something up there.
One of my favorite memes online. It's a video where a guy, he's at the liquor store and, it's just a green screen background, but he's like, "Can I see your ID?" And he hands it to the guy. The store owner goes, hands it back. He's like, that was so quick. He's like, yeah, your year started with 19. And then it shows the guy just like ghosting into like realization of, my God, like realizing how old he is. Because it is funny to think that it's like, wow, I was born in the 1900s. So that's all that people need to see.
Yep.
Well, since you told your story on your first experience, I kind of have a similar one. It wasn't a breakup. It was the opposite. It was that I had a girlfriend and she was kind of a party animal, and women have ways of, they have ways of getting you to do what they want. And one of them was, I want you to go out to drink with me tonight. And I was like, all right, fine. So I did. And we played beer pong, and it was with Bud Light. And hang on a second.
Well, while Samson's slightly distracted, definitely had fun playing beer pong when I was younger. And of course, as we got older, we were like, why are we throwing balls? Why are we throwing balls and drinking out these dirty ass cups? Like, what are we doing? So what I started doing with my friends is we would have mixed drinks and play water pong, and then whenever we make the shot, we just take it that we made, because that was definitely a lot healthier and definitely not a risk of killing ourselves.
The hairs floating in the beer. I do enjoy like the.
I just came back to hearing hairs floating. That's all I heard as I came back.
We're talking about like how gross like beer pong and just drinking out of the cups. Boy.
So yeah, that was my
back in college.
That was my first experience with it. It was all because of a girl, and it didn't last but a couple months. But yeah, I got violently ill that evening, and it was off of Bud Light, so I feel like such a weenie too. And by the way, I was legal. I didn't start drinking until I was 21.
Right? Yes.
So I didn't get. I can't tell a story that, oh man, dude, I was like 14. And, I totally boked everywhere, man. It was so nasty. It was. But I've grown more. I was a beer guy for a long time. Like I like Blue Moon a lot. It's a citrus beer. But I grew away from that, and I like my mixed drinks, because it's like, all right, whatever, Chad, you can drink your horse water drink, and you got to drink 10 of to have a good time, and I'm gonna get trashed off of this one fruit smoothie.
Yes, it's got a little sword through a cherry, and yep, I'm in. It's bright blue. I'm sold.
But so, okay, you haven't dove into serving it yet, but you do have your license or your permit, whatever you called it.
Yeah, my permit.
So you have the ability to, but you haven't fully taken things from the next level from your channel as a mixologist, if that's even a word, and into an actual a way to make money. It isn't your career right now.
Yeah. I mean, I love the job I have, and if I were to become a bartender, it'd have to be, I mean, that's, going from an early morning job to like a late night job. I'm gonna have to just completely switch. I don't think I can do both at the same time, so I'd have to kind of make a choice between those.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what.
Well, I know someone like Oscar. Let's just for example, let's say Oscar approaches you like, hey, I'm getting ready to get married. Would you be the bartender at the wedding? Would you do something like that?
Ooh.
Okay, there's a lot of legal stuff with that. I'm only licensed in my state.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, I'd have to look into it's really interesting, like researching all that kind of stuff, because you have like, okay, in order to serve alcohol, you need like the banquet permit at the venue, but then also if you're selling it, then you need a liquor license, so you'd have to be giving it away for free. But then if it's free, people can only be there by invitation. So there's all these little like moving parts that have to really be in place for that stuff to be like above board and totally legal. Mm-hmm. So if someone were to ask me to do that, I'd have to do like a lot of research, making everything is like a-okay legally.
Yeah, 'cause I could definitely see people asking for like a kaiju themed drinks at the kaiju themed wedding. So
we did that at our wedding. We worked with a bartender. We did like bride and groom cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife's, hers was like the clear favorite. It was like bourbon and rosemary and lemon. And then mine, it was like bright teal. It was like blue curacao, Midori, and like lime, and I think Sprite. It was delicious. I loved it. But people are like, I'll take the normal looking one.
Well, I mean, a lot of people like don't understand me, but because I mean, especially when you're just messing with this drink, you can put so many different ingredients in there that eventually something good is really gonna come out, and you're like, "Whoa, I didn't know that was gonna taste like that."
Yeah, sometimes I'll throw things together and see what happens.
I mean, you're not gonna know.
Speaking of mixed drinks that you never knew they would taste as good as they do, I remember the first Godzilla blood party that I experienced at G-Fest, and I was just like, wait, what's in this? And they were like, vodka, rum, gin. I was like, good Lord. And they were like, no, you won't even tell. Well, the next day later, I woke up with a massive headache going, you're right, I couldn't tell.
Going to G-Fest for years, I never knew where the blood parties were. I'm like, how do people hear about this? Where, like, it's not, announced or anything. You just have to like know someone who knows someone who knows something. So I don't think I've ever actually been to one yet, but this year.
At the old hotel, because it's at a new venue now, but the old hotel, it was on the big patio out towards the back of the hotel. And it was just kind of a common thing. I don't know how I found out about it either, but I was just like, all right, Sunday evening, the last night, we all go out and have too much fun.
I saw, like, I was hanging out Sunday night at the venue. But then, like, I saw photos later, everyone was over at the Crown. And I'm like, they're hanging out with Don Fry. I'm like, oh, how did I miss this?
Yeah.
That was.
I feel bad.
Oh, our boy has another question for you. What was the one drink that was challenging for you to create, Adam?
So many of them. I mean, sometimes like I'll nail it on the first try. But gosh, there was one, it was Dragon Tears that I did for like an Ultraman Max monster. I kept I would come back to that like once a month for like 3 years. That was one that I had like the name, I had the idea in my head. I'm like, here's what I want it to look like. Here's kind of a flavor profile a little bit. But yeah, I would like make something. I'm like, it's not quite right. And I would be like orbiting it, but never quite like hitting it. Or I'd come up with something else. I'm like, that's great for something else. Write that down. But I finally was satisfied with that one. That was just a few months ago. So that might be the longest here. I mean, there are ones I'm still stuck on, and I'm like, I'll come back to that. But I mean, there's so many things.
I was gonna say I want to feed off that a little bit. What is a drink that's fairly like? What's one that is kind of a challenge to make because of either the ingredients or the measurements, or like what is kind of a challenging one to make, if you can think of one off the top of your head?
My logo. So I got that commissioned. I had an idea. I'm like, here's my favorite colors from yellow to blue, the greens in between. That, yes. So I'm like, I actually, oh, do you not have one?
The only thing I got from you is that flying Gigan, man.
Okay, yep. I'll set one aside for you. But I'm like, I cannot make that with all. I think the biggest part is that bright blue. I mean, like the photo you have of me like in the thumbnail, that's just like yellow, green, and blue. But this has like yellow and then a lime green and then more of a teal and then a bright blue. Getting all those shades in those layers at that fade, I've not been able to do that yet. So that's a challenge.
I don't know. I can't even think what drinks you concoct together to get it to sit like that, honestly. But you'd have to
So
use different
that's
consistencies
all about
of
like
drinks and stuff.
density and
Mhm.
yeah, you got temperature, you got sugar content, alcohol content.
Is that a specific drink, or was that just something you got commissioned? You were just like, I want just these layers of colors to transition from here to here. Because did you have that commissioned out for somebody to make for you, or did you draw that?
I was sketching some different logo ideas, and then I finally settled on that. A generic monster hand, not any specific Godzilla, holding a drink, but also like the way it's holding a drink is like incorrect. So I wanted a little bit of like, I'm not a professional here, because I see a lot of logos, a lot of awesome like drink logos from other cocktail channels and things, and it's usually either a martini glass or like a rocks glass or tumbler. But I'm like, no, I want a hurricane. I want something like tropical, fruity. I don't want people to be surprised by the drinks when they see that logo. So I'm like, let's get, all my color palette in there so that like exactly what to expect kind of drink wise, flavor wise.
No, I can definitely see that in your logo. Cause I mean, all your drinks. I mean, hold on, let me share my screen real quick. Because if we're looking on your YouTube channel, we can see all the different types of drinks that you have. You have a lot of different drinks and a lot of different colors that kind of pop out to people. If you haven't seen this, for people who haven't seen the channel for the first time, like, whoa, there's a lot of different drinks. There's a lot of different colorful colors and everything. And even as far as drinks go, the least your highest rated review was the Skull Caller Shot in Toy Guide. But what would you say was your favorite drink to make?
My favorite to make, or well, like design, or to actually like make?
I'll say design and make. We'll go with both.
Design, make, and to drink that you enjoy, that you like genuinely like, that you like.
That one, oh, you know what? One of my favorites that I've ever made was the Tatooine Twist. I did that just a few months ago. I think that was in
Twist.
Might be in January. But it's the thumbnail is like a bunch of little shots. Yeah, that one. That was like first foray into like really trying to do a tiki kind of drink, and I found like that's really my vibe flavor wise. I love that one. I've made that one a bunch since, so that's one of my favorites. Trying to figure out like what makes a tiki drink, and the Trendmasters trendy Space Godzilla one, that was fun, like matching all the colors and trying to get the ratio of colors. That was really fun to color match. And I know like a lot of like serious mixologists, cocktail folks would look at a lot of the stuff I do, like using food coloring, and be like, nope, that's out. He's done.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's so many things that I do that are like terribly uncouth. But
it looks cool.
It looks cool. So I earlier this evening I was trying to come up with one that, because a lot of my things, they might like look better than they taste, I think. But for the general public, because I design these for my flavor palette. So I'm like, if I like it, then hey. But I like really sweet, tropical, fruity kind of stuff. But I was like, what if I make a drink that just looks horrendous, but is actually like not bad? Because I've been trying. Okay, can I? Yes, thank you, Titanic Creations. I have a couple of Titanic Creations one like ready to go. I just got to get around to filming them.
Ooh.
Because I know like
maybe you should.
When they announced their younger A figure, I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I got one and it's ready. But I saw these glasses at Goodwill. I'm like, that kind of looks like a nuclear silo kind of thing. So I'm like, that would be good for like some kind of Hedora sludge kind of thing.
Oh, for sure.
But I've done like reviews of all my Hedora figures. So there's this new I don't know, what is Ban Presto Final Wars Hedora figure coming out. So I'm like, okay, I gotta come up with something for that. Can I mix it?
I was gonna say the moment you brought that glass up, I was like, that looks like one of the oil refineries. It's like the oil refinery tanks from any Showa movie ever.
Yeah,
From the
so,
final
it could be.
explosion sequence of any movie from the Showa era ever.
Well, what really sealed the deal for Final Wars Hedora for this one for me is the garnish, which I'll get to at the very end. But I'll try to make this quick, and you can ask another question while I'm going, so you're not just watching me like stare.
Actually, that's funny. You're going ahead. That was going to be since we were talking about the mixology aspect of things. I was going to say, do you want to go ahead and mix something together for us right now and showcase it as I mean, we got to have you make something and showcase it.
This is a Monsters with Attitude exclusive preview.
Ooh.
Okay, so I have 1.5 ounces of white rum, and then I'm gonna get 1 ounce of a dark spiced rum here. Because I was thinking, I'm like, I want something just brown and gross and just not really appealing. Sometimes, like when I'm mixing a bunch of stuff, I'll just pour it into like a reject bin, and it just turns a gross color. My wife calls it like a watercolor dip cup. You know, like when you're painting and whatever, you rinse off the brush.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want something like that, but that actually tastes decent. And then I'm adding a 1/2 ounce of blue curacao, which I put in everything.
One thing to note again about something that I think is unique that you do is your very generic labels on your bottles. That was something that helps you. I think that's how you don't get in trouble with brand names and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, like on one hand, I don't want a brand coming after me and being like, I don't like how you're using our stuff. But also, I mean, if a brand wants me to show off their stuff and they want to send me some free stuff, I would not be mad at that. Just remove those labels. All right, 3/4 ounce of orange juice.
Ooh, my favorite. I'm an orange drink fan all the way.
A 1/2 ounce of orgeat, which is like an almond syrup.
Okay.
I've been playing around with orgeat a lot. It's another like tiki classic thing that I'm learning so much as I'm like looking up other recipes and things. And like, you know, I'll be out at a bar, I'll be trying out this drink. I'm like, okay, let me write down the ingredients, things I've never tasted before. Okay, 1/4 ounce. Me? Am I yelling? Am I yelling?
That's for me. That's for me.
That's for
okay. So 1/4 ounce cream of coconut to get it a little opaque. If I can get it out of here. There we go. I think. Oh, and then finally, like 4 to 5 dashes of bitters. There we go. And then, before I shake it up, I'm gonna fill this up with some ice. Give me just 1 second.
You know what we need? We really need some kaiju ice cube trays. We definitely need some very unique molds of kaiju to have kaiju ice cubes of some kind in our tray. Like even like the Hedra tadpole to float at the top of your drink. Like the top half of the
that'd be awesome.
They do make I did get some Godzilla ice trays, like vintage what's the brand? Beatland, I think.
Ooh, okay.
But like I need to figure out how to make perfectly clear ice in those. Because you can't really see any of the details.
What is the method behind making perfectly clear ice? Because I know that is a very popular amongst drink mixologists. They're like to make the crystal clear ice so that you can see the molds of what you're sculpting. You have to do this, that, or the other. What is that?
Yeah. So in a nutshell, you want it to freeze from the top down. As it freezes down, it pushes out impurities. So you'll typically find these things, and they're expensive. You could make your own, but it's complicated. And you need a lot of like freezer space. But it's like you have your ice tray with a little hole in the bottom and a reservoir. So you fill that all the way up. So all the impurities get pushed out through the hole, and you still have this complete solid ice chunk at the top. Okay, so we got this. We've got our mix. I'm gonna give it a dry shake, which is just without ice, because we're gonna pour it over ice, and I don't want it too diluted and thin for the color.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how gross this looks.
Oh, I can't wait. Looking forward to it. We got to see it. Oh, looks so appetizing.
Mm. It's actually a little green. I thought it would be a little more brown. Maybe it needs another
pretty green
dash of bitters here. Maybe I didn't do enough. There we go. Oh, yeah. And then, so I don't know when the last time you saw Final Wars was. But
I got it fairly embedded in my head. That was one I grew up with. I had the 50th anniversary DVDs from Walmart back in the day. So I watched, that was one I watched over and over again since I owned it.
Well, that final fight, maybe someone in the chat will remember the final fight with Hedorah involved one other kaiju, which went straight through Hedorah's eye.
Ebera.
So you garnish it with
Oh my God!
little Ebera. Cheers.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How does that taste?
Better than it looks.
Well, that's good. I mean, as long as it's not the vice versa, for sure, because that's a excuse me, gnarly looking drink you got there. Actually, Adrian, you ask him a question. I want to make myself a mixed drink real quick too, out of just my personal favorites. And people in the chat, tell us mixed drinks. Not everybody's into it. You don't have to be. It's not everybody's cup of tea or a cup of booze, whatever you want to call it. But tell us about your favorite mixed drinks and what goes into making it. Or you don't even have to say what goes into making them, but what are all y'all's personal choices of berry juice, Kong juice?
Well,
Adrian, you can kick off with yours while I'm away.
Well, actually, I did have a question from Oscar in the chat. Oscar was asking, it's funny that you said that drink didn't look that good, but Oscar was asking, what is there one drink that is just perfectly good taste and looks like something that belongs in a magazine?
I made one early on, and since it was years ago, I'm sure like my palate has changed. I've learned so much more that like maybe at the time it was great, but it was called like Griffin's Daydream or something like that. And it wasn't anything special to look at. It was this kind of like off-white pale kind of color, but I thought it was just delicious. Like sometimes my wife and I will call things like a $13 drink. Like if you're at a restaurant, this would be on the menu. They would charge $13 and you'd be like, oh yeah, that's worth it. So we called that that's one of our $13 drinks that I thought was like one of the best. But I've been meaning to go back and like make it and see like if I still think it's as good as it was. But yeah, I mean, looks wise, that wasn't much. I've noticed like, yeah, some of the better tasting drinks are ones that are just kind of basic looking, which is fair. But yeah, I'm trying to do more. I call them brown drinks, where it's just like a cup of brown. But I mean, that's what most of the like craft mixology cocktail channels that I follow, they do a lot of like cup of brown because it's a lot of natural ingredients and stuff. You got your bourbons, you got your bitters, you got your sugars kind of stuff, and it all ends up being some kind of brown, which is fine. It's not the kind of stuff I make, but it's delicious drinks because it's simple and more natural. So trying to do more of that kind of stuff. Trying to appeal to like a wider audience beyond just my bizarre flavor palette.
Well, I have the flavor. Oh no, go ahead. I interrupted you. Go ahead, Adrian.
No, I was gonna say, even though as crazy, as simple as it is, I just had this drink a few months ago for the first time in like years. And I was like, damn, this is still really good. And it's super simple. The Incredible Hulk. Very underrated drink.
What is that?
Hennessy and Hypnotic.
Well, I mean, not the superhero, the fucking drink.
Hennessy and Hypnotic.
Ooh.
And if you mix it just right,
if you mix that right, that should turn greenish, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm saying right now, if you drink that, that's just gonna get you in trouble. But when I had it in my 20s, and this is when I was back when I was still drinking and stuff, I had like I think 4 of them within like 2 hours, and Nope. Nope.
Well, I have a very childish palate in terms of what I enjoy, and it's very easy. It's a creamsicle screwdriver. It's an orange creamsicle screwdriver, and it's just Pinnacle whipped cream vodka, because out of the two, between Smirnoff and Pinnacle, I like Pinnacle the most. Pinnacle tastes really good. And then just good old OJ. I don't, again, Adam, I'm right there with you. I don't like the taste of alcohol. I don't like the mosquito spray ass taste of alcohol. So I dive into like sweet tasting things and stuff like that. And I need to like venture more. I need to like pay really close attention to what you got, because it'd be great if I can come up with new things instead of just having the same old stuff. But just Pinnacle whipped cream and orange juice, so I can have a orange creamsicle screwdriver. It's one of my favorites because I like orange flavored stuff. As I mentioned, I used to be a big Blue Moon guy, which made me into a big guy itself. So I decided I need to have something a little stronger that's not as filled with carbs.
Yeah, I love creamsicles. I've been trying to find something that tastes that's sweeter, that's creamier, without using like an actual melted creamsicle in the drink. But yeah, I mean, like orange juice and whipped vodka, or like orange soda and Tuaca. It's a vanilla liqueur. Just simple and creamy, orangey.
I may have had that before. That sounds good.
I have a very generic. I need a glass that's actually more see-through. So there's not much to it. It's an orange drink. So this is my favorite cup. Just this really bioluminescent green. So this is the one that I always utilize. But orange creamsicle, or I haven't even had it yet, and I still can't talk. But also the number one orange juice that I enjoy with it. It's very specific, but it's Members Mark from Sam's Club. There's something about their orange juice that just tastes really good. And it's cheap because you get a 2-pack of orange juice for $6.
Well, yeah, because it's your club.
They still don't give it to me for free like they should, but no, I digress. Well, actually, Adrian, should I do my little thing that I talked about earlier?
Let's go for it.
Well, Adam, you showcased all these wonderful drinks that you have done, and I decided to put a little something together to highlight some of your best moments in drink making. So let's pop this on. That was just a little fun something I put together going through your channel. I was like, man, I want to do a little compilation video showcasing some of his most colorful and fun moments in drink mixology. And that is what I came up with real quick. Just a 60-second highlight of some of your most interesting looking drinks and different ways that you make drinks and all that good stuff. And that last one was definitely unique in terms of the Dilophosaurus shot.
That was incredible. I'm so like pumped now after seeing that, like seeing it all, because every week I'm like focused on the next thing, but like looking back and seeing all of that, I'm like, I've done some awesome stuff. Damn.
Yeah,
can you send that?
Oh, of course, yes, by all means. I was figuring that you'd want to see that or keep that towards the end. It's just I put that together with a piece of non-copyright music that was in the generic video editor that I have. So you can do what you want. You can put it on YouTube. You can do what you want. You won't get in trouble, I'm pretty sure. I like your second to last one that you did there, the invisible drink.
Oh, my April Fools.
You're the one that involved no spirits, no. You were just mixing together and squirting non-existent ingredients to make and it was to coincide with which figure was it again? The invisible.
It was the
Shin.
The Shin Ultraman Naranga, the invisible Naranga figure. I'm really proud of that one. I filmed myself making an actual daiquiri, and then saved all the audio from that, and then went back and mimed doing it and just played the audio from the actual making of the drink. So you can hear everything being poured and everything. It's just not there. With the ice chinkling and just all the stuff. Yeah, I thought that was clever and good. I thought that was really funny and enjoyable. Well, let's quickly move on to question 2, because or whichever. See, I've already sipped 2 of these. Just 2. I've only had 2 sips. All right. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. That is the fun one. We got to add this to the. All right, that was that. Now
I don't need one other thing. Not one. I need this.
As a collector, what are you still keeping an eye out for?
Okay, top of my list. There is a figure made by a company called Booker Studio, and the figure's name is Gizarro, and it's a little crocodile, and I love him so much. And it's only, as far as I'm aware, only ever been available in Taiwan, and I can't find it on any aftermarket sites. I've messaged the company, and I should probably translate it out of English, but no idea how to get one. But as far as something a little more accessible, the Gigabrain 73 translucent green Gigan. That's like top of my bucket list.
Ooh,
Godzilla stuff goes.
Those top tier Gigan figures right there. There's so many of them. I own 2. I got the traditional colorway, that's based off of just the way that it looks in the movie, which probably the original release. And then I have the one I call it Super Saiyan Gigan. It is the translucent vinyl with the gold. So the majority of its like leathery pieces are translucent and the rest is just gold. And it gives off like a very Super Saiyan vibe. I got it from Eric, actually, our magnificent bearded co-host on here.
Because I have the blue one, the translucent blue. I just need the green. Everything is translucent blue and green. My cups, the logo, all that. So if I can find that green one someday.
So that's as far as the Godzilla franchise go. What about anything like, your other favorites, Jurassic Park and just everything else? Do you have anything else like that case that I sent you a link to? Oh yeah, the Jurassic Park VHS case, but it's like little like metal looking briefcase kind of thing. That's like I'm not going to own that kind of thing. That's another like I don't really have grails anymore, but I have like bucket list items, like something I would like to own at some point if the price is right and everything shakes out. Because there have been some things where I'm like, it was on my list of grails, but then once I have an opportunity, it's available, I'm like, that's a little too expensive. Or once I see it in the hand, I'm like, that was enough. Like now that the hunt's over, I don't really need it. So I've been starting to call a lot of things like bucket list items, like at some point. Someday. Oh, that's another like I will never find that at a price I'm willing to pay. But it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. That is coincidentally today, because you saw the video that I sent you about the unfortunate situation with its arm just a little bit. I guess it showed up at Marcellus's today. So it is going to have some kaiju surgery, and it will arrive at some point in time back in my arms, and we will do our secret project. Oh, well, speaking of secret projects and grails and things, another figure is currently in the hands of Marcellus.
Some I sent him a little while ago. That's it's a big project.
Ooh.
Yeah. So at some point, whenever that makes it back home, I'm gonna do a video on that. That should be a fun one.
Awesome.
If you grew up with the Trendmasters figures, then this is
Again, Oscar mentioned it in the chat, and I thought so as well. I thought it was one of the most colorful and unique ones. That's why I had to add it to the compilation. That Trendmaster Space Godzilla, the layering, just the colorway, it was a beautiful drink and a beautiful figure that a lot of us know and love, nostalgia-wise.
That color scheme is delicious.
I'm pretty sure, Adam, that you did get the email about a certain Gorgo figure about to be shipped out soon. Are you going to do a review on that?
I got the articulated ones, and then I pre-ordered the green one, the Ditko one. But I didn't get the large, like X Plus style one.
Oh, interesting.
I'm trying to I'm completely out of room. I've got boxes. I'm like right now I can see boxes of figures just waiting for space to be cleared, and I can't do like huge figures anymore. But I do have this large like Big Ben Tower 3D puzzle thing that I was thinking of doing some kind of like giveaway or something with it. Like if someone posts a picture of once they get their Gorgo in, if they post a picture of it with a drink or something, send them the thing. I don't know. I'm still
here, folks.
Right? So at some point, I have the box right here. Let me grab it. But yeah, I mean, it's a gorgeous figure. I just know I don't have the space, but I do have this Big Ben.
So this is a puzzle made of like cardboard or something. It's just a very generic.
It's like little plastic puzzle pieces that you then. Oops.
Oh, just they just kind of rest on top of each other in a general form.
And then you get
okay.
So I'm like, that should scale with it. Maybe not perfectly, but pretty well. But I'm like, I don't have the room for all that. I've had to like.
Well, speaking of, go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was like, I mean, as you're speaking about room, I know this recently you've hopped on What's Not app. You want to talk about that for a little bit before we get out of here?
Yeah, I was selling on Pop Shop, and I've been selling on Whatnot. Just trying to find like fun community where people are buying Godzilla things, and there seems to be a lot appearing on the Whatnot app. So I try to do those like once a month. Just like a live video sales, hanging out, talking with people, talking about Godzilla stuff, Jurassic stuff, maybe making some money in the process, clearing out my collection, mixing drinks. So that's been really fun. That's been a fun platform to be able to do those kind of things on, make some money. And because every time I'd sell something, I would immediately go and buy something else. But now I'm saving up all that money for conventions. So like whatever figures I'm selling, sure, yeah, I am buying more stuff, but that's going to airfare, that's going to airport parking, that's going to hotels and stuff, so I can do more conventions and things. Like we're talking about G-Fest. I'm going to Kaiju Brooklyn in like a few weeks, and then you've got like Kaiju Go in Texas. So there's all these things, Designer Con, that I'm going to be at, and do more and see more people.
It's funny that you mentioned the Kaiju Brooklyn, because our last guest, not the one that me and Adrian interviewed, but that Eric and Joe interviewed, he was talking about Robo 7 artist John. He was talking about that's his next convention that he's got coming along soon.
So I'm excited to like see some of those people in person.
I mean, Samson, you can attest to this too. It's always different meeting people in person versus. I mean, meeting them talking to them online all the time is great, but meeting them in person is just it's a different feeling.
It's awesome. Right? It's like we're really real.
It's almost kind of like, it's almost unbelievable. It's like it's not real. It's like, hold on, is a really cool person like this that loves the same shit that I do? Do they actually? Oh my god, I can touch it. So
Yeah, I know when I went to G Fest last year, because I mean, y'all know last was my first G Fest, and Adam was actually probably the first person I saw, and this immediately this brother energy, I loved it.
I'm like, I know this guy.
But I guess we did keep you a little bit longer than we wanted to, Adam. But I mean, if you have anything else to plug, I mean, go for it.
Well, actually, we got one more to speed. We'll like speed round through this one real quick. It's just one more that you know about after I. Hey, buddy, I'll see you later. Okay, you go play. I'll see you just shortly. Little kids, man. All right. This one is related to something that me and you definitely probably are going to dig.
Hold on to your butts.
So we have shared excitement between the newly announced video game Jurassic Park Survival. I know you don't have the complete like gaming vibe that I do, but from what you've seen from this trailer, for us to get a survival horror Jurassic Park game, what are your initial thoughts, and what do you hope is going to come to fruition from this as the big Jurassic Park fan that you are?
I don't game a lot. Like my level is like Jurassic World Alive on my phone. That's my speed. Give me like a slow side scroller, I'm good. But I am excited to watch you play that on Twitch. I will be there.
You know I'm going to. You know I'm gonna.
So yeah, I mean I'm curious to see if any figures come out of it, because I'll do figures all day, every day. And I found, oh gosh, what was it? It was the Jurassic World captives, the little like blind eggs with the little minifigures in them. One of the series, they did ones that are like color schemes from the Jurassic World Alive. So I'm curious to see if there will be specific dinosaurs and color schemes in the game that might translate into like Mattel figures.
So for those of you that don't know, Jurassic Park Survival is a survival horror first-person perspective game. It's basically Alien Isolation, but in the Jurassic Park universe, and it takes place on the same island as the original movie, the day after the events of the first film. So Grant, the kids, Ellie, Dr. Hammond, and Dr. Malcolm, they got gone, but now it is going to take place for those that got left behind, like maybe didn't get on the ship that Nedry was supposed to get on, and we get to maybe go on an adventure and see some more dinos that we didn't get to see in the park in the first film, and try to survive the horrors that is Jurassic Park, because the whole park is unleashed. You got the T-Rex running around, the raptors that are still alive. There's one more raptor supposedly still alive, the one that got stuck in the freezer, that could still be running around the park hunting you down. And of course, the Dilophosaurus and just whatever dinos that we haven't seen yet. So it is going to be a survival horror version of Jurassic Park, which it just sounds amazing. This is something fans have wanted, and it's actually a licensed project. I can't remember who the creators are, but that is what's coming to fruition by maybe the end of this year. They have not announced an actual release date, but I immediately, as soon as I saw it, I sent it to you, Adam, because I knew that you might, even though you're not the big gamer like I am, you could still have an appreciation for it and find some excitement in the concept.
Well, first I thought it was going to be like a show, but I'm like, oh, this looks amazing for a video game. I've been so out of the gaming realm that like now they look like shows. They look like movies.
Oh, absolutely.
They really do. One of my personal favorites, this is kind of not related, but The Quarry is a storytelling game. It's what they call quick time events, where you react to stuff on screen, like press the A button quickly, like quickly jump quickly. And it's basically, it has the Beowulf filter, like from the movie Beowulf, where it's like, okay, it's live action, but there's just a filter over them that makes them look slightly CGI. That's where video games have gotten to these days. That was the last second one that I threw in this morning. I initially just had the 3 questions, but I was like, you know what? I think that we could talk, at least for maybe a short bit, about the game, since it relates a lot to one of your favorite franchises of all time.
Well, speaking of, I've got a drink that I've been working on. I want to see if you can recognize how long it takes you to figure out what this is.
Oh,
Mosquito.
I know exactly what that is. That's the emerald.
That's the amber mosquito.
Yep.
But
What I can't tell exactly what it is in. I mean, the tall glass. Oh, it's supposed to be the cane.
yes,
So
That's
it is
awesome.
a tall shot glass, and it's a white drink mixture. And is that a cookie or is that what is that at the top?
okay. So it's like a fruit leather that I cut in an oval, and then on the backside I use that same like edible food marker, and then I just put a bunch of layers. So it got like darker and darker and thick enough to just.
Oh,
That's cool. That's awesome.
that's phenomenal.
I do a lot of like I have an idea, I like visualize it. And I'm like, how can I make this actually happen? Yes, it's Hammond's cane. So now I gotta figure out how to film that.
Oh man, do you know what you're going to coincide it with?
I mean, I just got this.
Oh yes, I should. I actually, as it came out of my mouth, I knew what I was about to. Yeah, I know.
Maybe that, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what pops up.
Well, good grab by the way as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
For the price, the little sticker that you had on it.
Oh,
It's,
I'm like, yep, done.
Well, we have just one more slide to finish things off here. That is not the right thing. Here we go. I couldn't help myself. I had to.
Good luck, happy hunting, and drink responsibly.
So that, by the way, it is the only video that you don't have advertisements for, like your next video, whatever. And that's also from your very, very first video. That is the conclusion of your very number one. So I thought that would be fun and appropriate to go all the way back to the beginning to hear you tell us all to drink responsibly.
That I thought of everything except how to end the video. And I was like, that's when I would film just kind of everything from the beginning to the end and then just like kind of cut it down. Now I do a lot of voiceover here, this, that, and there, and then combine everything. So then like I got to the end, I'm like, what do I do? So like I just did the thing, and you can see me like shaking as I'm trying to like hold the iPad as I'm a few shots deep kind of thing. And then I'm like, I'm just gonna keep doing that for every video. So if you see at the end of every video it's like slightly shaking, that's because I've finished my drink and I'm like, oh.
Especially when you've made multiples in one go. That's gotta
Right.
be. And you've morphed from what we see, or you've evolved, not morphed. You've evolved from what we see here to what is currently behind your head, which has been the more well-known one with the Jurassic Park / Godzilla text.
And the green. Well, that's my printer like stopped printing color, so this I just colored it in with highlighter and colored pencil. My mom was like, you need to make like a legitimate one. It's wrinkled, it's bad. I'm like, eventually.
It's classic. You know what you
So
should do?
low
You
budget
should
here.
you should commission somebody to make you like a custom 3D printed like something with depth, and you can make a miniature shelf to hang on your wall or wherever you'd like to put it, and that be like with the proper colors, like even have the Jurassic Park font where it like fades from that oh god, I actually forgot, it's like that red to that orange that the text does from the intro titles of Jurassic Park, and then just do what you'd like to with the Godzilla text of some kind.
That would
Yes,
be- Ooh,
just an idea.
I love it. I should do it. Eventually I'll get around to it.
Well, that is going to officially wrap things up. I couldn't help myself. You're such a great guy to talk to, and the like-mindedness between us, it makes it a lot of fun to chat and keep going. We always like to try to hover around an hour, but I'm starting to think that's becoming a little bit harder than we think. Especially when you got chatty guys like me as the host.
With our 3 powers combined.
Sorry, Adrian.
No, it's
Well, yes,
cool.
thank you guys for having me. This has been I love just talking Godzilla, talking drinks, talking Jurassic. So this is perfect.
Godzilla drinks and Jurassic. Ooh, I like that.
Kaiju cocktails, Jurassic drinks.
There's the plethora of the rainbow or whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying things at this point.
We're all woo. Stay
Well,
hydrated.
Adrian,
Drink responsibly.
For sure. Adrian, closing thoughts on your end, since I have basically just been running the hell out of the show.
Well, of course, Adam, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. It was definitely great having you on. And of course, if you haven't yet, make sure to go follow Adam at Thirsty Thursday Toys. And next week, next Thursday, ironically, he will have another review up. Don't know what it is yet, but you got to subscribe to find out. And of course, thank you everybody for watching tonight. We love having y'all here, and appreciate the love and support that we get from everybody here. And as always,
wait! Did we not? We did not. We wanted to plug something for next week. Did we not?
I mean, I guess we can definitely do that.
We got to talk about. I mean,
give me a second.
We can go ahead because we decided we wanted to announce what we got going on coming because it is scheduled as well.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
What is I talking about? I'll get the picture up.
Yeah. So next week we have 2 back-to-back interviews that are going to be fairly exciting for a lot of folks, especially for the Godzilla fandom, and the other for just being a general nerd, especially if you were a nerd in the late 80s and early 90s. I'm not going to go any further with that until Adrian pulls up what he wants to share, because it's an exciting announcement as far as interviews and projects that we're working on for our channel go. And we got to give a lot of thanks and love to Eric and Joe and everyone else that went into making this stuff happen for us.
Yes, it's definitely gonna be a pretty fun and exciting interview for anyone that is a Godzilla fan and, ironically enough, a anime fan as well. So two nights, 2 guests in a row, May 15th and May 16th. We will be interviewing Stephanie Nadali as the voice actress for Kid Goku and Gohan, and of course Captain Gordon himself, Don Fry.
Again, I'm blown away at the fact that Eric and Joe are leading men, 2 of our leading men of our show. They were able to just get this going for us. I mean, this is just next level, just great to be able to talk with the childhood hero that we know and love, be it Kid Goku or Kid Gohan, and then the big burly man himself with the Magnum PI mustache and the samurai sword, Captain Gordon. Come on. This is going to be some exciting stuff for the future of Monsters with Attitude and just all around a good show in general. Oh, man, Adam, what do you got?
You know what I got. It's done.
He's got it all, folks.
He does. He really does.
Is that the one where him and the big Japanese guy were just wailing into each other just nonstop for 5 solid minutes?
Figures in my collection, just because it's not like a creature. It's just I love it. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah, both of those gonna be fun interviews, especially as big as a Dragon Ball Z fan as I am. It's gonna be fun. And of course, it's Don Fry. Who's not excited about Don Fry?
Right? That's a life goal. That's a bucket list thing. Is like one day, share a drink with Don Fry.
I met Don Fry. I keep I'm doing the Southern Goodbye, which is where as soon as we're trying to be done, I just keep on talking. I met him at one of the last G-Fests I went to, because my G-Fest run was 2011 to 2015. So I had 5 G-Fests in a row that I did. And I have the most awkward photo somewhere where I'm like shaking his hand. I look like I don't want to be there. He definitely doesn't look like he wants to be there. And it's pretty funny. But he was a lot of fun at the blood party. He probably handles his liquor pretty well, and he'll probably enjoy. He would enjoy something from you. I'm fairly certain.
Last time I was at G-Fest, I was like in the getting the autograph in that line, and then like we ended up talking about the channel, and I showed him my Area G cocktail with the little Godzilla frozen in ice, and he's like, "I love that. I'm gonna steal that idea." Like, go for it.
I really like that, kid. I'm gonna take that from you. That's
Yeah.
well. One last thing, if you still have anything left, do you have anything left in your cup for just one final, even if it's just ice? Cheers to you, and cheers to everyone out there for being here and having a good time with us and Adam. And just thank you for being a guest and a friend and just an all around great guy.
Thank you. Cheers.
Now, Adrian, we can do what we set out to do.
I mean, I guess everybody's opinions matter, good, bad, or indifferent. But in there, as long as you remember to always embrace the
attitude. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good night and sayonara.
Peace.